something else, or there is somebody else that is more powerful than your God, then you can ignore him. But if you know that he is everything to you, that is the only God that you serve, is the only God that can be trusted, if you are sure of that, continue to worship him. Because our God is everything to us. Our God is everything to us. He is a complete God. He is a complete God. He is a God that cannot be compared with any God. He is an incomparable God. He is our ever help in the time of need. He is forever ready to help us. He is everything to us. He is a complete God. Thank you, everlasting Father. We thank you, we glorify your holy name for making us your children and for you being our Father. This is a real privilege and we appreciate that. We are not taking that for granted. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We bless your holy name. Father, accept our thanks today in the mighty name of Jesus. Accept our thanks today in the mighty name of Jesus. Shall we pray quickly? Heavenly Father, I want to thank you this morning. I want to thank you for bringing us into your presence today. Heavenly Father, take control of our lives in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Father, Lord, we ask you, Lord, that you come and bless your children today in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. And everything that we shall be hearing today shall nourish us in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. It will not go in vain in our lives in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, everlasting Father. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus we have prayed. Amen. I want to go straight into the word because our time is fast spent, and as much as possible we want to keep to our time. The topic of the message for today is understanding divine delay. Understanding divine delay. Delay is a word that we commonly use. So I can assume that everybody here understands what we mean by delay. But for better understanding, so to say, I will still explain what delay means in ordinary sense of the word. Delay means to defer something, or when something is deferred, either by us intentionally or by some circumstances that are not within our control. Something can be deferred, and we say there is a delay. When we postpone something that we are meant to do today till tomorrow, we are delayed. That is to say, when we put off to a later date something that should be addressed right now, we say there is a delay in doing such an act. So, when we are not talking about the topic of today, divine delay. So, what is divine delay? What is divine delay? First of all, what is divine? We've spoken about what delay is, and we now all understand what a delay is. But what is divine? Something is divine when you believe that this thing is coming straight from God. Something is divine when it is heavenly. And something is divine when it is God-like, and you can see that, oh no, this is beyond me. This is divine. So we've heard about divine intervention. We've heard about, when God is doing something in your life, oh no, this is not man-made. This is divine. So divine delay, now we don't understand what divine delay means. That's for something to be divinely delayed means that it is God who has actually not allowed that thing to happen in our life. And when that is the case, there is nothing we can do. Absolutely nothing anybody can do to bring that thing forth when God is not yet ready to allow it to happen in our lives. So we understand what divine delay is. Now, in the worldly sense of it, we can say, in what circumstances can delay occur? Delay can occur in several circumstances in our lives. Delay can occur in several circumstances. And I'll just, look at a few circumstances. Number one, the one that, is so popular is in the fruit of the womb. In the fruit of the womb. Usually, in Christian marriages, we don't expect the bride to be pregnant before marriage. So, expectedly, God is not annoyed that after 1 year of marriage, you expect a child to come forth. And of course, within the first 6 months, people will start watching the wife, trying to see some symptoms that is she pregnant or is she not, and things like that. So, and after 1 year, there will be anxiety if there is no child in the marriage, because we expect somebody that gets married in January, or rather in December, to be pregnant in January, and by September, October, to have a baby. And by the next December, there is no sign of pregnancy, not to talk of a baby. There will be anxiety. There will be anxiety. Everybody will be anxious. Let's not deceive ourselves. And God is not annoyed because that is our expectation as human beings. That's one example. Another example is in securing jobs. In securing jobs. Unless for somebody after graduation that is aiming to go and study, go for his or her master's, what you want to do is, after graduation, first month, second month, third month, you're thinking of, I want a good job, I want a job. And jobs may not come. Our children are lucky, fortunate to be in a country like this, where they get a job 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, at most, after graduation. But in some countries of the world, I know people that have graduated for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're still jobless. So, of course, not all delays are divine. Let's not forget about that. Not all delays are divine. Some delays may be man-made due to our own errors, due to our actions or inactions, due to our stubbornness sometimes. But here today we are talking about divine delay, divine that is godly, divine that is, God ordained. Also, delay can happen in the case of marriage. In the case of marriage. And such delays could also be divine. We do not pray for any of our children that are girls to remain unmarried till they are 30, 35. But there are some divine delays that God wants to do something for him to allow that to happen. Well, we can say, oh no, that will not be the portion of my daughter. Yes, you are free to say that. But God has his own plans. Another example that, the final example that we will look at on the, on the worldly basis is like most of us that are in this country or America or wherever that were here, immigrants, and then we are asking that our immigration status be changed because maybe we came in as visitors and we decided to stay put, and they were trying to regularize our stay, and the immigration status has refused to change. Because of that, we cannot travel back to our various African homes or countries, and we are worried. We pray and fast. We do all sorts of things that we think we can do to ask God to open the way for us. Yeah, there's nothing bad in that. You have to ask God that, look, make a way for me, God. But God knows why. He knows why He is still keeping you here. Because He knows that the moment He releases that paper to you, you will travel to Africa. And He knows what is waiting for you there. You do not know. You have no clue at all. But all you want is, God, release my papers for me. Release my papers. Release my papers. But He knows why He is keeping you here. Keeping you safe. But we don't know. Whereas if we do know, if we see the other side, if our eyes are open to see what is happening on the other side, we will continue to thank God for keeping us safe and sound here. And I believe strongly that if God were to ask such a person that, okay, look, choose one. For me to keep you here without papers for 10 years, or for me to give you that paper now and you die next month, choose one. Obviously, such a person would choose to remain alive. Yes. But because we don't know, we start blaming God. We say, why? I've done everything humanly possible as a Christian that I should do. And yet, this paper is not coming forth. Divine delay. Divine delay. We need to understand why God can decide to delay in certain areas. So we'll look at 2 examples in the Bible, time permitting us, because they are all long stories. The first one we want to look at is John 11. You can quickly go to John 11 from verse 1. I will need to read that quickly because it's long, and of course the second example too is so long, but with time permitting us, we should be able to cover those two, and then we'll pray and close. John chapter 11 says, now a man was sick, a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was said that Mary, who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Of course, it's a very popular story, but I mean, you just see, it's a very good example of why God could delay something to happen. Verse 3 says, therefore the sisters sent to him, that is sent to Jesus, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. I mean, I want us to pay attention to that. All of us here, God forbid bad thing, if we receive a phone call now to say any of our children that is not here is sick, because of the love that we have for such a child, we will leave whatever we are doing, we will run there. Yes. So we are telling Jesus, we were even reminding him here, say, the person that you love is sick. What they expected was for Jesus to leave whatever he was doing and to run to that place to go and pray for the sick so that the sick could be healed. We go on. Verse 4. When Jesus heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. He knew that. They didn't know that. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. He loved them. Not that he didn't love them. He actually loved them. But he didn't respond the way they wanted. He didn't respond the way they wanted. When we pray, we say, God, our God that answered by fire, answer me speedily. But sometimes he decides not to answer speedily, and we grow annoyed, forgetting that God will forever remain God, whether he answers us or he does not answer us. So verse 6, so when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in place where he was. Can you believe that? That somebody he loved, he got that urgent call, emergency call. And yet, he still remained. What was he doing there, where he was? That was so important that he didn't rise immediately to go there. He knew what he was doing because God was talking to him. But the other people, they did not know. Verse 7 says, then after this, he said to the disciples, let us go to Judea again. And the disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you are going there again? And Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. These things he said, and after that he said to them, our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up. Then his disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead. I mean, when anybody hears a thing like this, it is normal to believe that it is over. Somebody is dead, is dead. And verse 15 says, and I'm glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him. What Jesus was trying to say there was that he said he was glad that he was not there at the time when Lazarus was sick before he died. Had he been he was there, had he prayed for Lazarus and Lazarus got healed, well, God might have been glorified, say, okay, oh yeah, because he prayed for him, that was why he got healed. But it wouldn't be as much as when Lazarus was already dead and condemned to the grave. Let's go on. Then, verse 16 says, then Thomas, who is called Twin, said to his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him. So, when Jesus came, he found that he had already been in the tomb 4 days. Now, Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had joined the women around Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Because, I mean, he just thought, well, let's go and mourn with them. He's dead, and there's nothing anybody can do again. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary was sitting in the house. Now, Martha said to Jesus, listen to that. He said, Lord, if you had been there, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Oftentimes, we say things like that to God. That God, if truly you are my God, this thing would not have happened to me. I would not have lost that job. And I call myself a Christian. I serve you. You say you are my God. You said I'm your child. And yet you allowed this to happen to me. Why did you allow this to happen? We ask why and why and why and why. Because we do not have the knowledge of why God has done what he has done. Verse 22. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. Can you imagine that faith? That even despite that, he's saying, whatever you ask, because I believe. So is there anything that has been delayed in your life, and you believe, or rather you think, oh no, God cannot do it again because it's too late. Nothing is too late in your life. Yeah. Verse 23 says, verse 22, yeah, that whatever you ask of God, I know, I believe that. It goes on to say that Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. And Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? And he asked. So, of course, we all know what happened next. We know what happened next, what Jesus did, that Jesus prayed. We can quickly run into verse 43 because of our time. Jesus prayed, or rather from verse 41. Then they took away the stone because Lazarus was already in the tomb, and they already put a stone on the tomb. he was already even smelling and stinking. Then they took away the stone as commanded by Jesus from the place where the dead man was lying. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I know that you always hear me. But because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. And verse 43, now when he had said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he who had died came out, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. And Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Praise the Lord. Praise the living Jesus. So, from these scriptures now, can we say that Jesus arrived late? No. He did not arrive late. Rather, Jesus arrived, or rather, he went there at the set time that his Father had already set for him. So that only the name of God could be glorified. So we find ourselves in several situations in the past, situations that demanded immediate divine intervention. And the intervention failed to come. And that could be very frustrating. It could be discouraging. It could be upsetting as a Christian. You start wondering, why has God done this to me? God has a reason. And that reason is because he wants to take the glory. He wants only his name to be glorified. And his time is not always our time. That's another thing that we need to know, that God's time is not always our time. And we can see one example again of Jesus Christ when his brothers were persuading him to show up at Jerusalem for the Feast of Tabernacles. And we could see in John chapter 7, from verse 6, that Jesus said to them, my time has not yet come, but your time is always ready. We human beings, we always set a time that this is the time. Of course, we say, okay, when I leave university, I get a job after 1 month, I work for so years, I get married, I buy a house, I do this, I do that. Well, it's good to plan, to look ahead, to plan ahead, to be proactive. But God's time is not always our own time. You can also see in that verse that Jesus said, you go up to this feast. He told his brothers, go to the feast. I am not yet going up to this feast, for my time has not yet fully come. So when the time comes, God will do whatever he will do in our lives. And God will see in verse 10, that's in John 7, that afterwards, Jesus went up to the feast. He went, at the appointed time that God has set for him. Praise the Lord. Amen. Praise the living Jesus. Is somebody getting blessed? Yes. All right, okay. So let's quickly look at the second example. This one too is a long one, but hopefully that clock is not working, so I hope I won't run out here. Okay. The second example we want to look at will be from the book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, that also is a very popular scripture. In fact, the whole of chapter 1 told us about a man that had 2 wives. In fact, this will become more interesting if any one of us here, if you come from a polygamous house, you understand this story better. You can imagine, you will understand the pain that somebody can go through if there are 2 wives in the same house of the same man, and one is barren in court, not having fruit of the womb. And the rival now makes jest of the one that hasn't got a child. You can only imagine how traumatic that experience could be. And that was the same story in the book of 1 Samuel. Because of our time, because it's so long, but the summary of that is that in 1 Samuel chapter 1, from verse 6, we can see how, because this story is about the two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. It was Hannah that didn't have a child at that time. And Peninnah, the second wife, was always provoking Hannah. She was always provoking severe provocation. She was always doing things to irritate her and to make her miserable. Because I know, like in Africa in those days, if you have a child, if you don't have a child, you are the same house with the same husband, you cannot even send the other wife's child on errand. She will tell you, go and have your own children. Don't disturb my children. Things like that. It can be terrible. And we can also see in verse 15 of that same scripture how, as a human being, how Hannah became a woman of sorrowful spirit. It is natural. It is natural. Hannah was full of complaints and grief. And yet, God was not bothered. God wasn't bothered. God refused to open her womb. And it was so terrible for Hannah. But if you look at the Bible, if you study that same 1 Samuel, the whole of chapter 1, and we ask ourselves, was God really wicked and insensitive to Hannah? Of course, no. And there was a reason. Why God delayed. Like I said, we won't be able to read through all of that, but I can tell you the things that one could learn why God delayed in the case of Hannah before giving her the fruit of the womb. The Bible tells us in that 1 Samuel, in that scripture, that all the time that Hannah was miserable, sad, and of sorrowful spirit, God refused to open her womb. Until in verse 18 of 1 Samuel, chapter 1. And the Bible says, and she said, let your maidservant find favor in your sight. And so, that was when she was praying. And the Bible continued to say that, so the woman went her way and ate. Because all this while she was not eating, she was just sorrowful. But this time around, after she's been prayed for, and she released everything unto God. So after this, she went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. That's very important. That aspect is very important. And that was when God decided to answer her prayer. So I want us to learn something from here. Are you being traumatized at work? Are you being oppressed within the family? And every time you carry this sadness over you, that the moment anybody sees you, they know you have a problem. That time, God may not answer your prayer because He wants you to even jubilate, to be happy, even in that unpleasant situation. Yes, and that is when He will be ready to say, okay, oh yeah, now you are ready for me. About 3 weeks ago, Pastor Kemi was preaching here, and she said something that really, really got to me there. She said something about the church growth, how worried herself and Pastor Kenny had been. They prayed, they done everything that they needed to do, and yet nothing appears to happen. And she said something that made me to know that from that moment, something positive is going to happen in this church. In the mighty name of Jesus. And what did she say? She said, now herself and Pastor Kenny have realized and they have surrendered everything unto God. So not until you surrender everything to God, because whenever there is somebody in your life that is playing God in your life, somebody that is showing himself or herself as a master, that I am the one that can do this, I am the one that can do that, God will hide himself away. He won't show up. Or it could even be you yourself that you are thinking, oh, I'm so wise, I can think, I can plan, I can manipulate, and you are doing things. God will just be watching you. it will allow you to exhaust all your knowledge, all your power, all your thinking, and if you don't make a headway, and then you will show up. And I can tell you this is that I just said, it's applicable to me, and it applies almost every week to me as well. When I'm solving an accounting problem and I could not make a headway to God Almighty, and say this, and God is looking at me, I will leave that thing, and sometimes I go to the loo, and I will just say a word of prayer. I am telling you, when I come back to my seat, solution will just come. It happens to me on several occasions, and God is seeing me for this. You know, so we need to surrender things to God and say, God, take control. So what we need to learn from here is that, like I said, God was waiting for the time when Hannah would be well matured to receive the special son that he wanted to give her. Because we all know that Samuel was a very special son. He was a very special son. And for some of us, there are times that we love our children so much that we don't even allow them to do things of God because of the love we have for them. I have an example of a friend like that. Every time her daughter says, I'm going to church for this, you church every time. What is your problem? So, the second lesson here is that God did not open Hannah's womb and release Samuel for her until God saw that Hannah had grown up and developed in godly character. All the time that Hannah was reacting negatively to the provocation from the second wife and everything, God refused to open her womb until when she now became happy and decided to ignore the rival and face God squarely. That was when God now said, hey, now you are mature to receive the blessing that I want to give to you. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So, like I said, we've seen that in verse 18. And also, Samuel was already preordained by God. That was another reason why God held Samuel back from Hannah. Samuel had already preordained by God as a replacement for Eli. And because of the power that Samuel carried, God was waiting for the time when Hannah would be matured spiritually enough to release Samuel to serve the Lord. Because we know examples of people with only child. They pamper the child, they do a lot of this, they don't allow anything to touch the child. And here in this case, God knew that Hannah had to be left alone for her to mature and to be ready. Otherwise, she would not even release. And of course, we could see from verses 21 to 28 of that same chapter 1, 1 Samuel, how Hannah dedicated Samuel unto the Lord in fulfillment of her promise. Because God made that happen. That to happen. So what we are saying here is that our spiritual maturity is one of the factors that determine when God will manifest his power and glory in our lives. He waits for us. If I give you this thing, can he handle it at this age? Can he handle it? There's a friend of mine in Nigeria, my wife knows him very well. We all grew up, I think about 3 or 4 years ago when I went to Nigeria, we were together, and he is now very rich. And he was asking to me, he said, Kola, I don't know why God had to wait for this long before he gave me this money. That I'm almost 60 now, and this is now that God has just decided to give me. And I said to him, if God had given you this money when we were younger, our house would be dead by now. Because we were all reckless that time. So God knew that we would not be able to handle such money that time. That was why he didn't give you. But now, you are a born-again Christian, he knows that you serve him, you are wiser. That is why he decided to wait until now before giving you that. So another thing that we need to learn from here is that anything at all, that you cannot cheerfully and quickly release for God's purpose, God will not give it to you. He will hold you back. Because he knows the beginning from the end. He knows the end from the beginning. So he knows that if I give you this thing, you will misbehave. So until he sees that you are ready, willing, mature to accept or to manage that thing before he will give it to you. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
And again, God will withhold certain things from us because he doesn't want us to even perish. He doesn't want us to die young. So he keeps those things and say, okay, well, until I know that this person is ready for this before I'll give them, just because he loves us. And we as parents, we do things like that to our parents sometimes, to our children sometimes, like when we were growing up in Africa, if you wanted to take your daddy's car out and something, he would say, don't take it. Not that he was being wicked, but because he knew that we were not old enough to handle driving, away, because he did not want us to die and perish. But oftentimes we hate such parents, say he's too stingy, he doesn't even want me to enjoy some of the things that he enjoys. Praise the living Jesus. Have you been blessed?
Yes.
So we'll continue to pray unto the Lord that whenever there is a delay in our lives, there is a reason for it, and we know that the delay is divinely made, and everything has a time, and God will answer us at his own time. We will not run too far away from him in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Praise the living Jesus. Hallelujah. Shall we rise up and pray? Shall we rise up and take some few prayers, and then we'll close. Instead our time is fast spent, but we'll quickly take 3 prayers. The first one quickly is let's pray a prayer of intercession for our children. Let's pray for our children. This is very important. Let's pray in whatever way you can pray for your children. Begin to pray. Pray for God to order their steps wherever they are, because even we as parents, we cannot guide them. It's only God that can guide them. So pray for divine guidance for them. Pray for their choices, that only God will make choices for them. Pray for children, pray for them. Pray that our children will have wisdom and knowledge in their academic, and then God will grant them the academic excellence in the mighty name of Jesus. Pray that they will not make wrong choices. There are some foundational choices that when one makes it, they can never be the same again. So pray that our children will not make such mistakes in the mighty name of Jesus. And pray that God will not allow us to bury any of our children. We will not bury any of our children. In the mighty name of Jesus. As we all knew their beginning, we will not know their end. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Now let's pray quickly. Let's pray a prayer of harvest, because the joy of every laborer is to labor and to harvest. So let's pray that we will not labor in vain. In the mighty name of Jesus, we will not labor in vain. We will not labor in vain, and that we will enjoy. Let's pray that we will enjoy the labor of our hands in the mighty name of Jesus. Let's pray that God will water our seed. Pray that God will water your seed, and that God will watch over our seed. Any seed that is not watched over can be easily picked up by praise. God will watch over our seed. In the mighty name of Jesus, let's pray that our effort will not be wasted, and we ourselves will not be wasted away. In the mighty name of Jesus, our waiting will end with reward. We shall be rewarded. Our waiting will not go in vain. And we will reap bountiful harvest in the mighty name of Jesus. Pray that the God of good news will announce us. The God of good news will announce you in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. And finally, let's pray this prayer of protection. Let's pray that for our children. Let's ask for God to protect us, our children, wherever they go, wherever they may be. Pray that no evil will befall you and your family. Pray that whoever, because it is wrong for you to say, well, because you are not after anybody, that nobody is after you. You are telling lies. Whether you like it or not, you have enemies. They are knocking around the corner waiting for you. So pray that whoever digs a pit of sorrow, anybody who digs a pit of regret for you and your family, they will be the one to enter into it. Pray that whoever packs a load of misfortune for you and your family, they will put the load on their own head. In the mighty name of Jesus, because you are not thinking of evil of anybody. Pray that any stone of problem and any arrows of troubles, any arrows of confusion that are being shot at you and your family will never know your destination. They will miss you and your family in the mighty name of Jesus. Very important. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray for God to be with us and to watch over in daytime and in nighttime in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus we have prayed. Amen. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you once again. I want to bless your holy name. I want to thank you for today. I want to thank you for your word. I want to thank you, oh Lord, for the opportunity to be in your presence. Father, take all the glory in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Father, Lord, if there is anywhere, oh Lord, that we have wronged you, anywhere, oh Lord, that we have said things that we are not meant to say because we do not understand your purpose for us. Father, Lord, we ask in the mighty name of Jesus that you forgive us in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Father, as we want to depart here today, Lord, Father, let your presence not depart from us. Amen. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Father, Lord, make this week a blessed week for us in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. And it shall be sounds and news of joy. And we shall be hearing from our tabernacles in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, everlasting Father. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.